Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is a profile on attorney Rachel Bell, who is the Democratic nominee for the General Sessions Court in Davidson County. And of course, Attorney Bell, let me welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And tell you how delighted we are to have you on this show this morning.
Well, thank you.
And what we'd like to do during this first segment is to talk about Rachel Bell.
Okay.
To have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of your experiences. And then we'll be able during that second segment to perhaps talk about the General Sessions Court itself. That is, what in the world is the Davidson County General Sessions Court, and what does it mean to be a nominee of the Democratic Party for that particular position. So let's start off by having you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of your experiences, and then we'll talk about other things.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised here in Nashville, Tennessee. I grew up in North Nashville, grew up on Queens Lane, and actually still currently reside there now. I went to Hillsborough High School, graduated from there. I went off to Auburn University and played basketball for the Lady Tigers at Auburn University. Won an SEC championship ring my freshman year playing basketball for Auburn University. Transferred from Auburn University to the University of Memphis my junior year and finished my collegiate career and my bachelor's at the University of Memphis. After that, I went to the University of Memphis Cecil C. Humphrey School of Law to get my law degree. In between some time from undergrad in law school, I worked for the WNBA and the NBA, the Detroit Pistons and the Detroit Shock and the Detroit Vipers, under Nancy Lieberman Klein, who was the general manager at that time. So I was able to shadow a lawyer as well as work with, as being an assistant scouting for the professional league at that time. And so then after that, finished law school and decided to move back home under the advice of my parents to start my own firm. I knew that I wanted to be a judge, but I needed to figure out the process and what I needed to learn to make sure that I was prepared to run that race. And so when I first started practicing in 2005, I looked up the statute to try to see exactly what was necessary to be a judge, and you had to be over the age of 30, and you had to have practiced for 5 years or more. I didn't know what type of judge I wanted to be, but I knew that I was going to try to prepare myself and qualify myself for that opportunity, and the opportunity wasn't going to come to 2014. So I had been waiting to run the race in 2014. This race was something that I had prayed about and asked God if, my time was now, if he wanted me to take the opportunity and the chance to run. And I believe in my spirit, I felt in my spirit that I should, and I did.
I have to buy into this idea of you deciding quite early in your life rather than in your career to be a judge. Well, why did that, I think I've seen it mentioned on a number of occasions about something about justice for Nashville. Why this idea of being a judge? I mean, people rarely think in terms of, well, I want to be a judge. I mean, how did that idea happen to come to you?
Well, I knew that I was going to practice law, but I really believed, being a lawyer, that I wanted to work to serve the people. And as a lawyer, you want to work as hard as you can to serve and help people. And I knew that I wanted to be a public servant and an official, and I wasn't sure exactly what area I would pursue. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a council member, if I wanted to pursue a number of other areas, but I knew that I was very passionate about serving the public. And so I did do some research, and within my skill set and my education, it was a great opportunity to work towards being a judge and still be able to serve the community within my skill set. And so as a lawyer, I thought that it would be one of the better areas for me to pursue, which was being a judge. And so I decided to move forward.
And so you made a decision early to be a judge, and when you were old enough and you had enough experience, you decided to toss your hat into the ring. And that's your profile in terms of why you are here this morning in a real sense. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Very good. And of course, I think we're going to have our first commercial break in about a minute. But now you are the Democratic nominee for the General Sessions Court. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, exactly what does that mean over the next minute, and then we'll get into it in detail later on.
Okay.
What is the General Sessions Court?
Well, General Sessions Court is the people's court. It's a court where individuals have their first impression with the judicial system. As being the Democratic nominee, I am the Democratic candidate to move forward to the general election. And so I do have an opponent that's an independent, and I'm very hopeful that the Democratic Party will stand behind me and ensure that I am, you know, the individual that will be successful moving forward in the general election. And then that's on August the 2nd. And then I'm hopeful, very prayerful that I will be successful and that I'll be sitting, you know, on the bench in September.
Very good. And of course, you're looking forward to it, and you've already laid it out as to how you could get there. There's no doubt about that. And everything has worked well in terms of what you thought. Is that right? And of course, let me take this first commercial break.
Okay.
And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.